Hey, everybody. Oh, wait, hold on.
Hey, everybody.
Wait.
Wait.
Premium is required to create live broadcasts. Please upgrade the premium subscription. Oh, hold on a second.
What is that?
All right, there we go. Are we up? Yeah, we're up and we're live. Cool. Yeah, Twitter was apparently in order to stream on Twitter now, you have to have a premium Twitter subscription.
That just don't stream on it.
I've already given Elon Musk a lot of money. I'm not giving him any more.
You've already given him more than he deserves.
No. I gave him exactly what he deserves, which was the price of the car, and the car's worth it. So, hi everyone. Welcome back. And I'm sorry that we were not around last week, but we're here now. If you're not familiar with us, we are GameHounds Podcast. And I apologize if there's any breeze blowing. You'll let me know, Nick, if you can hear like wind up against my mic.
Okay.
I've got a window open.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so far it's fine.
Cool. So yeah, we're Big GameHounds Podcast. We are here doing the thing that we do that we've been doing since forever, since I was a young woman. Huh?
A young boy.
Yeah, since you
My
were
father
a very young boy.
took me into the city to see the Black Parade.
The what?
It's song lyrics. It's
Oh.
the beginning to, I don't even remember the name of the song. What's that classic emo band? My Chemical Romance.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Yes.
Hey, AC Wraith. We got AC Wraith in the chat room. Hey, that he is our link bitch. So we're going to have lots of links to talk about. Let's see. Interesting things that happened to me. So last week I was at the boyfriend's house, and he is in a place called Redwood Shores, which is he's right on the water, and the water is a levee essentially. So his house backs up to like a little walking path, and then you take a left and it goes up on the levee and you can walk along the water. So I took the dogs out for their last piddle of the night. It was a moonless night, very typical, right around midnight. I'm walking the dogs on the little path, and Mia's acting a little weird. I'm like, dude, stop being a dick. So and then I bang a left and go up on the levee, and Mia's still jumping around and acting weird, and Buddy finally decides to poop. He poops. I scoop the poop, and then I turn around to go back the way I came, and Mia loses her mind. And I'm like, what? And she looks out on like between the I'm on the levee, the water is here, she's looking towards the water. I turn to look. Now it is a moonless night. And I can't see much because it is dark AF. But I can see enough that there is a shadow, a lighter shadow with a pair of eyes that is looking at me. And I realize that it is one of the biggest coyotes I have ever seen.
Oh.
And it is like this, like he's been seen. And I'm like, holy shit. Well, I know what coyotes do. They eat little dogs. And I know exactly what that coyote's doing. He was looking for an opportunity to grab Mia. Or Buddy, but probably Mia. So, of course, I'm like, ah! And I make a bunch of noise and get real big. And I like, move towards him.
Mm-hmm.
And the coyote, like, poof, gone. I'm like, fuck, that was scary. Like that coyote was on me, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'm not gonna walk around. I'm just gonna walk straight across like this lawn area and go straight back to the house, because that's a little creepy. That I just got Mia almost just got stolen from me as I'm holding her. So I walk, and they have these light stanchions along the walking path. So I walk straight for a light stanchion, right? And I get to that light stanchion, and I'm just on the other side of it, and I turn around and look, and there it is on the other side of the stanchion. It freezes as I turn around and look back, and I'm like, holy shit, that thing is fucking stalking me. It's not giving up.
Still coming.
It's still coming. So I make another lunge for it, and it doesn't move. And I try to lunge at it more, and it doesn't. It moves back, but it doesn't run. And it's like, oh, I'm eating that dog. I'm just waiting for you to turn your back because I'm about to eat the fuck out of that dog. So I'm backing up as fast as I can because I realize I am being stalked by an animal that is not afraid of me. So I'm trying to keep Mia close. I'm trying to keep Buddy close, and I'm backing up and making like noises, and I could see it coming at me as I'm backing up. And I move forward and it won't back off. So I'm just backing up, backing up, backing. I get past Chris's house and I'm like, oh shit. So I had to go all the way around the block. Meanwhile, I'm like I didn't have my cell phone. So I'm on my Apple Watch going, text Chris, 911, text Chris. Who do you want me to call? Text Chris, come. Text. And it's like, we can't, sorry, I don't have any connectivity right now. It's like, fuck, because I'm locked out of the house. So I end up just essentially going around the house, into the fences, around, getting back into the house. And I'm telling Chris about it. I'm shaking. I'm rightfully freaked out that I have just been not just like encountered a wild animal. I'm used to it. Well, life and me, we go back a ways. I have no issue with that. Like I've been on a gold claim. We had a pet bear who we just walked through our camp on the regs. Like that was, sometimes the bear would like push into our tent as I'm sleeping, and you just slap the bear and like, get out of here, and then it would go away. So I don't have. I've slapped bears.
Wait, let's just back up 10 seconds.
Yes.
Oh wait, I can kind of hear a bit of my echo, but I've slapped bears.
I've slapped bears.
Like, just take that sentence out of context. I've slapped bears.
I've slapped a bear. Yeah. I've slapped a bear.
Yeah.
So yeah, this animal,
this coyote is slapping,
is not backing away, and I am freaked out because I've never been stalked by an urban predator that had absolutely no fear of who I was. So I'm talking to Chris about it, and it's like my whole body is shaking because I realize how close I came to that animal grabbing my dog while I was holding it and having to be in a fight with a coyote for my dog. So as I'm talking to him and I'm starting to calm down, I'm starting to get control of my breathing, starting to not going through this horrible nightmare scenario in my head over and over again. All of a sudden I hear out just outside the window, doo, doo, and I'm like, oh, there it is. And two more voices.
Jeez.
There were three of them. I only saw one. There were three of them, and they were triangulating on me. And that was why that one was keeping my attention, because the other ones were probably flanking me to get to the dog from behind. And if I had stopped and not just kept moving backwards and kept the dogs right next to me, I would have had my eyes on the one in front of me while another one had grabbed me from behind me. And then, of course, the next day I come out and I look over and I'm like, is that some bark on the lawn out back, right where we were? And I look and I'm like, oh, that's not bark. That's wings. That's a carcass of a dismembered egret that they had apparently gotten instead of Mia.
So is it like, okay, no more midnight walks?
Oh, there's midnight walks because they have to happen because she's to piddle, but I'm going out with a flashlight, with a spotlight, and I don't care if it upsets neighbors that there's somebody out there walking with a flashlight. There is no fucking way I'm walking out there without a flashlight.
Yeah.
No way.
Do you have to take both dogs at once? Because that does make it harder to manage.
Yeah, I do need to take both dogs. So otherwise, it's just going to be a longer thing. But yeah, I'm just also not going to go up on the levee. The dogs, the dogs can find somewhere else to poop.
That's right. Is there a different direction Yeah, you can
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
You can go left instead of right.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay right close to the houses. I am not going back up on that levee where it's dark, and I'm also not doing it on a moonless night where I can't see anything.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, that was my excitement last weekend. And right before that, not making it any better to get into the show, I went to see that day the Borderlands movie.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Holy crap. I thought I thought we were past this. I thought we were past making shitty video game movies. I mean, truly soulless video game movies by people who clearly know nothing about the franchise and do not care.
At least from what I've heard, I haven't seen the movie. I feel like this is a higher class of bad
Oh, this is
because um like you go with the old school Uwe Boll movies and it just like you picked a video game IP because they were cheap and you made a cheap movie and it's like it's cheap all the way through, right? Cheap
I
from
would
the
have rather
beginning,
it been
cheap
cheap
cast,
all the
cheap
way
everything.
through.
But this is at least like a higher level of bad in that we got some A-list actors, we got
That makes it
B-list
worse. That
director.
makes it
We're
worse.
gonna
That
dump
makes it
$120 million into it. We're gonna put some money into this, and then it's gonna bomb, and it's gonna be really bad. But it's bad, but at least it's like, oh,
no.
someone cared enough to invest into it. They just invested very poorly.
They spent it all on those A-list actors who were terribly miscast. Terribly
I've
miscast.
heard people
Don't
like Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett's not bad, but they made her act bad.
Okay, and I've seen people generally like Jack Black
I was
as
gonna say
Claptrap.
no, no. Jack Black is terrible.
No, okay.
Jack Black's Claptrap. Claptrap was a great character. Is a great character. You loved Claptrap. I mean, Claptrap was so loved that like people on their deathbeds asked for Claptrap to speak at their funerals.
Jesus.
You knew about that, right?
No.
Don't you remember the guy that you could meet at the bar and he was like an Easter egg? Like every once in a while he'd be at the
Oh,
bar
you mean in game?
in game.
Oh, I thought you meant in real life.
No, in game.
Okay.
There
Okay.
was a guy at the bar that you would go to, and he appeared. If you talked to him, he would give you like some really good stuff. He is based on a real person who passed
Oh.
away from cancer, and Gearbox became aware of him because his friends after his death, or maybe it was before his death, he contacted Gearbox and says, "I would really like Claptrap to speak at my funeral." And so they had Claptrap, they animated and voiced a eulogy for him by Claptrap. And then after he did pass away, he was created to be an Easter egg character who sits at the bar. And it doesn't happen all the time, but when he does happen, if you go and you sit and you talk to him, he will give you like a reward. Like, hey, I'm not going to use this. And it's usually like a lot of money or a really good gun or something like that. So Claptrap is a beloved, great character. Jack Black as Claptrap is awful. Like,
Mm,
truly, you want Claptrap to get off the screen.
oh.
It's that, and the only thing worse, possibly, than Jack Black as Claptrap is Jamie Lee Curtis as
Mm,
Tannis. Just, she's awful. It's all awful. And Tiny Tina, completely Tiny Tina was great because she's insane, because she had experienced such unbelievable trauma of having her parents murdered in front of her that she becomes insane. They completely wipe that off the face of the map. They completely change her story, and she's not insane. She's just a girl
she's
with an
like a
attitude.
girl that likes blowing things up.
She doesn't know. She doesn't even like blowing things up. She just happens to know a lot
Oh,
about bombs. No, she's not
okay.
insane. She's just a girl with an attitude. A teenage girl with an attitude.
Hmm.
That's all she is, which completely loses the point on who Tiny Tina is, who is arguably the best character in Borderlands. The most entertaining character by a long shot. That movie is so bad. And it's bad for fans who understand the story because it's insulting to the fans who understand the story. And it's bad for the non-fans who are just there to see Jack Black as a robot or Kate Blanchett as like a sexy superhero. Because they can't possibly understand this screwed up, just like badly told, fractured story that's just like a bunch of like crazy exposition to get to a point so you can have an action scene. It's just
It sounds like
it's
it was
so bad.
it sounds like it was like killed in editing.
I don't know if it was killed in editing or if it was killed in casting or
Yeah.
if it was killed
Well, I think
where the
it sounds like
blood
it was bad all
occurred.
the way through.
But there is nothing redeeming about that movie. Nothing.
Um,
The
I
effects, maybe, but that's about it. There is nothing redeeming about that. I take it back. The guy they have play Marcus, who appears for probably in the whole movie 3.5 minutes combined tops. He's awesome.
okay.
And
What am
he's
I
does I
doing?
mean he's just Marcus. Like
Who's
you
Marcus?
unless you knew who Marcus was, it wouldn't like stand out for you.
Yeah,
But
who was
he's good.
Marcus?
He actually feels like Marcus. He
Good.
may actually be the guy who voiced
And the
Marcus.
voice actor. Who was
He may be the
Marcus?
voice actor.
Was Marcus a playable character?
Oh, he's not a playable. No, he's not a playable
Who
character.
was
Don't you
he?
remember Marcus? He's the one that opens up the screen. Talk about the Vault Hunter. He's the one that owns Marcus. He sells you he's the
Oh,
arms dealer.
he's the vending machine
He's
voice?
the vending machine guy, and he's also the bus
Okay.
driver at the beginning, like in the opening scenes.
Oh, I kind of remember. Borderlands was a long time ago.
Oh, really? Yeah, it was, but I remember it very well.
Hmm.
I played a lot of it. Yeah,
I will mimic what I've heard from other places because I haven't seen it yet. But I was watching Red Letter Media; those guys talk about it,
a
and
10% score from
yeah,
critics, 53% from the audience. Yeah, that's a very charitable 53%.
and
Anyway,
I think one of the damning things that they said about the movie, as they kind of showed clips of it, were the action scenes, and just that the action scenes were all really, really boring.
they're boring.
That it wasn't you kind of have this really interesting, wacky world, and all of the action scene is like boom, boom, bang, 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 bang. Boop,
Mhm.
someone hides behind a box, pops out,
Ding,
hits
ding, ding,
a few thought, hides
ding, ding,
behind the
ding.
box again. And but like even that was all done just kind of very boring.
Oh, it's incredibly boring.
Yeah.
It's
It sounds like
incredibly boring.
it commits the most grievous sin a movie can commit in that it's not even so bad it's good. It's so boring that it's bad.
Exactly. And that's why, as much as you might give a hard time to Uwe Boll, at least his movies weren't trying to be good. There was no pretense about this. This was Uwe Boll never lied. Uwe Boll didn't pretend that these were anything more than what they were.
I don't know, man.
This actually,
Some of his
I think
movies.
Eli Roth thinks this is a good movie.
No, I don't think so. Because the thing about Eli Roth can make a good movie.
Well,
It's
then what
just
the fuck happened here?
I don't know. But like he's
It's
not a
terrible.
bad director. He knows his stuff. He knows how to make a good like grindhouse gritty B movie. And so I think maybe he was the wrong choice. This was like let's give John Carpenter A-list budget to do a big sci-fi epic. And
Yeah.
it's like the question is, well, can this guy who's kind of known for lower budget horror movies make a big budget sci-fi epic? And in this case with Eli Roth, I think he can't. He's good at making little slasher flicks. He's good at making, B movie horror stuff. But when it comes to, well, no, that's not true, because he did A House with a Clock in Its Walls, which was just a full-on family-friendly movie. Funny enough, with Kate Blanchett and Jack Black, that was like pretty decent. It's like, hey, this is an old school Amblin style, like 80s kids movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good. So actually he can work in that genre. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. We need the Jason Schreier of movies to give the expose about what happened with Borderlands.
AC Ray says, when you mentioned a levee, I thought the story was going to involve water. I was like, lady, let me tell you about water. More
Oh,
than
yeah.
40 roads partially closed in St. Lawrence County. Map the route before traveling. More than 100 plus roads and bridges closed in St. Lawrence County. Lawrence County. I guess that's your county.
Yeah, not mine. AC rate this.
Yeah.
AC's.
Yeah. No, this is not involving water at all. This is involving wild animals. And he says, a bidder says Doom is a masterpiece.
Oh, the Doom movie.
Was it really?
The Doom movie was not good, but it was good cheesy fun.
Right. See, good cheesy fun. There's nothing wrong with good cheesy fun, but this was not good. It was not cheesy, and it was not fun.
The Doom movie exists at the same level as most of the Resident Evil movies.
Right.
Some of the Resident Evil movies are like real bad, but most of them are like this is a weird remix of like stuff from the games.
Mm-hmm. So, bottom line, don't see Borderlands, especially if you like Borderlands. Just don't see it. Just don't. Just wait till it comes out for free on Netflix or something. Truly, do not waste your money on this film. I walked out offended, and it takes a lot to offend me. I walked out of that movie as a patron of a movie and as a fan of Borderlands. And on both levels, I was offended to my core. Don't see it. Just don't see it.
I won't. I've actually already reserved tickets to see 3 movies next week. None of them are
Which movies?
Alien Romulus.
Mm-hmm.
And
I had a chance to see that yesterday, and I did not. I will not.
What
for
else
obvious reasons that you all know.
What is coming out next Thursday? Oh, Strange Darling, which is like this kind of indie thriller, interesting, tense slasher thing. And where is it? Was mine? Oh, Blink Twice. What's the movie? It's another thriller. Blink Twice. At least according to the trailer, rich billionaire dude invites 2 random girls to like come party with him on his private island. There's a bunch of other people there, and they're all having a good time. And then like one of the girls disappears, but no one else remembers her. And so our lead character is like, what the fuck is going on here? It's like, I know I had a friend. I had a friend here, but no one else remembers her. But I have a picture of the 2 of us. But even I don't remember her, but something's missing. So, what is going on with the secret of Party Island? That's Blink Twice. Strange Darling, I think I saw one trailer for it and I stopped halfway through because I was worried it would spoil things.
Yeah, I didn't see Alien Romulus. I thought it's very good.
I'm looking forward to it. Fede Alvarez knows how to make something exciting. But I did want to say, AC Wraith mentioned the first-person section in the Doom movie. And it's a really fun first-person section because it's like a haunted house.
Right.
It's like you're watching a video of someone go through a haunted house. But if you want to see a crazy good action, A
Mhm.
movie shot entirely in first person with just the most bonkers action ever. You got to check out Hardcore Henry on Netflix.
I am pulling this up right now. Stand by.
Hardcore Henry is one of those movies that, like, every now and then I'm just like, I'm gonna put this on in the background. I just want to kind of have this going so that when a crazy action scene starts, I can just kind of turn and watch and kind of lose myself in it. It's don't think about the story. Like, just fuck all narrative. Don't worry your head about it. It's just look at this balls to the wall crazy first person
Hello,
action.
Henry. Do you remember how you got here?
Okay.
This next part might hurt.
His body destroyed. So tell me more about what Hardcore Henry's about.
It's
You and
it's like
I still are.
it's one of those things where
I love you, Henry.
the story matters less. It's just kind of an excuse for a bunch of action scenes. Oh, this lady that's taking care of him gets kidnapped, and he's trying to track down the bad guy to get her. But it's done by a pair of or a group of directors who did a bunch of music videos, like first person music videos. And this is just like a proof of concept of, can we do a whole feature length film like this in this style?
Uh-huh.
And I think they pulled it off largely. It's one of those things where it's because it's first person, there's kind of a lot of movement, but it's not quite as bad as some of the later Bourne movies, with the shaky cam. And it's
Right.
one of those things where every now and then there's a shot that I just look at and go, how the fuck did they do this? The choreography involved in this is like, oh shit, you had to do a lot. It's like jumping down, he's on top of some guys. Oh, you got
This
to
looks actually really cool.
Okay, wait, you got to see the car chase. There we go. Yeah, like he jumps through a car.
Okay, I know what I'm watching tonight. Okay, Hardcore Henry it is. This looks fun. This looks super fun.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm in. I'm absolutely in on this one. Um, by the way, and I have to give credit to Nick for turning me on to this because if it hadn't actually been for Rachel inviting me to go see Wrexham play Chelsea here at the Levi Stadium, I never even. Maybe. Was it in first person?
Yeah. Was it a POV movie?
um, but welcome to Wrexham because of they invited me to go see Wrexham, and I did not really know much about Wrexham, and then they said, "Oh yeah, it's based on it's this team that's owned by Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, and they actually bought the team, and they actually have a docu-series that's following them buying this team and trying to get it out of like almost the most bottom tier of leagues in the English, not even in the English football league, like so far below, so far down that they're not even technically in the English football league anymore, and trying to get them out of that and get them advancing into the football league and maybe even turn them into a premier team. Anyway, so I started watching it. Wow, what an amazing series that is.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about the team. It's not just about the seasons. It's almost like every episode has a theme that either has to do with the community or the culture of some aspect of the culture of soccer, football in the case they call it, but some aspect of European football or English football or children. parenting, different themes, and diving into it in the context of the community of Wrexham, or which is in Wales, or the players themselves within the team, or even Rob and Ryan, or the other people that they brought along to do this, the relationships between fathers and sons, things that it's so much more. It's so much more interesting and nuanced, and
Yeah.
whoever is designing this, each episode is really, really good and had a vision of telling more than just this story about two Hollywood celebrities buying a, sixth tier soccer team in Wales that they know nothing of. They know nothing about, other than the community loves their soccer team. It's
And
so
it's crazy that
so
that one guy, I forget his name, with the glasses, who's kind of like in the beginning he was the liaison between Rob and Ryan and the team management. He's got like a little beard, the glasses.
Oh, he's the one who's the writer
Yes.
right. I can't remember his name.
But
Yes.
it's funny because at the beginning he's like, I'm just gonna be the liaison between Rob and Ryan and you. And he was like a writer on Mythic Quest.
Mhm. Right.
Rob McElhenney's Apple Show.
Right.
But like over the course, he's become more and more involved in management. And it's like when you think about it,
And he's becoming competent.
but it's funny to think about his arc in that he's just a staff writer on a TV show who really liked soccer.
He was
and
the
got
guy
his
that got
boss-
Rob into
he
soccer.
convinced his boss to buy a soccer team and then somehow became part of the management of that
Right,
soccer
right. He became the CEO, I believe.
team. Mhm. It's a crazy arc for him, especially.
Yeah, the whole show is so good. So if you have not watched Welcome to Wrexham, I highly recommend, especially if you know nothing about soccer, for if you don't care about soccer, you don't understand why it's so popular, you just don't get it. I recommend you watch it because you will understand it and you will get it. And I was up at 7 o'clock this morning. I went to bed at 2:30, and I woke up at 7 o'clock this morning to watch Wrexham because it's the second game of the season, and I'm going to do that
Ah,
all season.
you're becoming like Rob watching it with his kid
Watching it with this kid,
on
waking
the
up at 4 o'clock in the morning to watch it.
Yep.
I'm absolutely going to be doing that. Absolutely going to be doing that. It's just like I don't want to be one of those like bandwagon people, but it's absolutely
It's
impossible
really
for me
good.
not to.
Yeah.
It's
It's hard not to. The show does a good job of like establishing not just the team, but the community around
story,
the
the
team.
arc,
The arc of like the city and the people and
where
like
they went, what they went through up until this point, the
yeah,
heartbreak, and even the heartbreak even after Rob and Ryan bought the team, the continued heartbreak that
yeah.
happens, that every single time they're so close to getting exactly what they want, and something implodes.
Or like all the crazy logistics of owning a soccer team of like, oh shit, we put out all the grass, but it didn't quite take, so now we gotta
Resod it for
auto
another
all of it.
200,000 pounds.
Mhm. Um, but I also really liked like at the end of the first season.
I am not going to become a hooligan because there's an episode on
There
hooliganism
is. Yeah.
and how devastating it can be to the
Like
people,
teams and
like,
people.
yeah, like the girl who got her dream job and couldn't pass the background check because
Yeah,
her
because she was
boyfriend had been arrested for hooliganism,
Mhm.
and she lost out on on a career of a lifetime.
Yeah. But like at the end of the first season, one of the things I really liked is it took a moment to turn the camera to the other team and to the mayor of that other town. And he's kind of describing the town. And as he's doing it, you realize that town is exactly like Wrexham. It's like, oh, we focus on, Wrexham all this time, but everyone else kind of has an interesting story. Or like
Yep.
all through season
All of
2.
those teams have that story.
Yeah.
not the same story, but all of those teams have that story.
Yeah, and the fact that they bring some of them up. So like in season 2, they mentioned that there was one team that basically started as a bunch of friends getting together on a Sunday.
Yeah.
But they just happened to be really good. So they kind of slowly started working their way up the ladder. But like their field isn't even really a field because they're not really a team. They're still just like a bunch of
Like
friends.
it's like a playground for all
Yeah.
intents and purposes.
But like they're doing really good, so they're just going up. Or in that same season, like after they've bought a lot of new players and they're like, we are doing awesome. There's Knott's County, which is their team that's like just winning just as many games as
There's
them.
never the record for the amount of points, because each, whether you win or draw or lose, there's points awarded. The record for the number of points in that league up to that point was 103 points. And it happened to be that the year that Wrexham scores 107, there is another team that scores 104.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't just one team that was doing great. It was two teams doing great, which means that even though Wrexham was having literally a record-breaking year, there was another team also having a record-breaking year,
And
which is insane when you think about this particular league having been around for more than 100 years. And only one team had made 103, and now you had two teams that had beaten that record the same year.
yeah,
What's the chance of that happening?
and it makes for great TV.
Oh, it makes fantastic. Good Lord. You couldn't script this stuff. I mean, they
Yeah.
keep on saying, like, you couldn't write this.
Yeah.
They keep saying it because you couldn't write this.
Yeah, I think
And I think that's what I enjoy about it. It's because it's real life. Just because it's playing out like
Yeah.
a fairy tale doesn't mean there's going to be a happy ending. In fact, it could be a horrible ending.
Well, what's so interesting about the show too is you don't actually see many shows like this, documentaries that go on for multiple seasons.
Mm-mm.
Most documentary TV shows are either like a true crime show where every episode or every season is like a standalone case, or it's like a reality show, right? Not Desperate Housewives, well, whatever those other housewife one is,
Yeah.
Real Housewives.
Real Housewives.
You know, it's following a group of people over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
But this is different in that it's kind of a documentary about average people. But because they're in this documentary, like that changes. They become a bit of celebrities.
Yeah.
And so like a large part of season 2 is kind
Like
of
the,
like
the owner of the turf, which is the
repercussions.
pub that's attached to, that's part of the stadium.
Mhm.
And I remember watching him the first season, and then the opening of the second season, it's like, holy crap, I'm like a celebrity. I have people asking me for my
Yeah.
autograph.
And so what's cool is like a lot of season 2 is about the repercussions of season 1. And so it's like not only is it about the soccer team, but it's about like media in general of like, oh shit. Like it's introspective, right?
And the king shows
We-
up. The king shows up in season 2. Now, the king never would have shown up in Wrexham for any reason
Yeah.
previous to this.
But and what's interesting too is like because they have this TV show, as they're going out and buying new players, it's like, well, we're gonna get someone that's in the Premier League to come down to our level, because even though they would normally never come down to a level, normally we couldn't afford to pay them, but we have a TV show.
Yeah.
And that becomes like an incentive to get better players to come onto their team.
And how much that makes them a target for all other teams.
Yeah, a lot
in the
of
league.
other
The
people
most hated
hate
team
them.
in the league, season 2, was Wrexham, simply because they were owned by Rob and Ryan, and they had these ringers for all intents and
Yeah.
purposes.
Which like is understandable, because it's like, is this really fair that this team is going to be able to get Premier League level players because they can use the TV
Pulling
shows and
guys
they're
out of
selling
retirement,
tickets?
legends out of retirement are coming out
Yeah.
of retirement to play for Wrexham.
It's a really good documentary that's like about the soccer the community, but then also the show itself and how that changes people's lives.
Yeah. So I am now officially a full Wrexham fan. I kind of leaned into it. I didn't, like I said, wouldn't want to be like a loyalty jumper, like a late arrival. But I'm totally a late arrival, and I'm okay with that because I absolutely love this team.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I woke up at six, actually it's technically 6:50 this morning to go downstairs and turn on Paramount, signed up for Paramount Plus, and went downstairs to watch Wrexham live.
Oh, good to know Paramount Plus has that. I think
Yeah,
we're
Paramount Plus has the entire Wrexham season,
We'll-
from what I could tell.
we're leeching off of Rachel's dad's account.
Oh, perfect. So yeah. If you haven't watched
Good.
Welcome to Wrexham, I highly recommend doing it. And then you can join me, and we can all watch Wrexham games together. All right, so that's kind of like my things that I did this week was Wrexham and being chased by coyotes and Borderlands movie. And I haven't really played much games, to be honest. I've been playing some Raid Rush, mobile games, but I haven't had much of an opportunity to play anything else.
Mm.
What about you?
I've I was catching up with all the Olympics. Watched that for weeks and weeks and weeks, and there was some good games. There was some really good stuff.
Did you watch the basketball?
I did.
That was
Okay,
such
the
a good
gold-
game.
The gold medal match for both games was really good.
Yeah.
Both really good. But the women's was especially good because it all came down. Do you know how it ended?
No, I wasn't watching women. I saw men's.
Oh, okay. I will tell you how it ended. I don't know unless you want to go watch it for yourself.
Yeah, just tell me about it.
Okay.
Spoilers.
It was also between US and France.
Mm-hmm.
US is ahead by 3 points going into like the last 5 seconds. So 5 seconds left. US is up by 3 points. France has the ball. They get it. They start running it, get it across the court, pass it to a woman. She grabs it. She jumps from like the 3-point line, shoots and scores. Has the time runs out. But as she caught the ball, she took like a half step forward and jumped. And that half step took her over the 3-point line. So so her final basket at the last second that she made was a 2-pointer. And so the US won by 1 point.
God.
But what I also didn't realize that I would like to try to remember 4 years from now is that I really need to watch the women's basketball because apparently the US women's team has been undefeated for like the past 4 Olympics.
Yes.
Like literally
16 years.
The past 60 games that they played, they've won. So it's like I need to remember that because that's a really good story going into all the games.
Talk about everybody gunning for you.
Yeah. But that was good. There was a lot of again, like the rugby, the Olympics version of rugby is super fun and watchable. They had a new event called Canoe Cross, which basically has 4 kayaks drop into a water at the same time and race down little rapids to pass around gates, as fast as they can. But it's really cool because some of the gates are like the slalom gates where you got to go to the left, you got to go to the right, got to go to the left. Others are hanging from like a string and the guys have to go around it. They have to make a 360.
Yeah.
But what that means is someone's like coming up to do a 360. Another guy comes screaming at him to try to cut him off with the inside and like bash him with the canoe because when you've got the canoes, you can kind of bump each other around.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of like, shit, this other guy, they're both fighting for it.
Whitewater is a known thing. I mean, that's been around forever. Olympic whitewater. But
it has, but it's all been
never
time trials.
like a multi, race.
Yeah, it's all been time trials. And so being able to see them like get into kind of a contact sport was really, really good. It makes for a really fun watch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and AC Wraith mentions the basketball 3x3, which was also super fun because it's fast, it's quick, there's always something happening. and the U.S. sucks. So the U.S. might dominate the regular basketball games, but they got nothing on the 3x3. But yeah, all in
God.
all, I've still got a couple like things on my favorites list to watch. Like there's a couple fencing things I want to see, a couple tennis matches that I want to see.
So you're
Um,
still watching even though they're on HDR right now?
yeah, well, I mean, they're all just streaming.
Did you watch the breakdancing with Reagan?
I watched enough of
Oh,
breakdancing to know that like I can't follow it.
this is
It's like
not this is
I
not
don't know.
Olympic
Everyone
sport.
looks kind of the same. It's like how do they school one guy better than the other?
Yeah.
It was all right. I got nothing against it being there, but the skateboarding events were cool. The BMX was cool. It watching all these things makes me want to go play Tony Hawk again. It makes me want to go play like Dave Mira's BMX.
Yep.
It's like, oh, I want to play a sports game now. I was like looking, oh, you know what? I think I have last year's Madden because it was like one of the free games on PS Plus at some point. So I think it's like
Mhm.
on my account. It's like, oh, maybe I should download that and play some of that. Maybe I should download the FIFA game because that was also like a free game at some point.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Alright, so any games did you play?
Video.
You know what?
What?
We never
Play
ran
video games.
the music. Should we? Nah, fuck it.
Nah. I am still playing Lost Eidolons,
Mhm.
which is like the kind of it's I'm really enjoying this game, but it's definitely a game that's it exists in this weird B level where it's like you can't do what you want to do, but you're trying to do it, and I appreciate the effort. It's like a solid 7, like 6 or 7 out of 10. But it's like the execution is okay, but the ideas it's playing around with are really interesting. I think what holds it back the most is the art style
Mhm.
because the character models look really good, but they can't emote for shit. And so much of this game is kind of like visual novel storytelling.
Mhm.
It's really broken up into 3 sections. You've got a camp where you run around the camp talking with characters, you know, getting your like your loyalty up with them, like hey, how much your friendship points, basically, right?
Mhm. Right.
Becoming friends with them, doing a couple like other just miscellaneous fetch quests for characters. Then there are like the cutscenes, which kind of play out as visual novels. Hey, here's a character portrait with a line that's voice acted. Oh,
Mhm.
here's another character portrait with a voice that's acted. And you'll see characters standing around a table, but no one moves. And so it really is like anime style visual novel of static picture with like voice acted text and character portraits doing a lot of the heavy storytelling.
Mhm.
And then you have the turn based combat.
Right.
And as I'm playing it, and as I'm listening to these characters talk, and I'm kind of looking at the style of it, the whole visual novel-esque style of it, it is 100% like an anime turn-based JRPG. I've played games exactly like this on PS2, but the problem is that it's trying to go for this ultra realistic art style. And so it just creates this kind of weird clash of tones where the characters are kind of they're not cartoonish, but like they're like kind of stereotypes. Right? You've got the mage who's a healer, you've got kind of the aloof magic woman, right?
Mhm.
The typical anime character who's like, I'm a badass, but I'm gonna be kind of aloof. Then you've got like the big brute who's like your lead guy with an axe, who's like, I don't know, I just want to fight. I don't know about all this politics stuff. Then you've got like your second in command, who is like really good with leader with the politics, really good with strategy, but he doesn't want to be the leader, so that's why he's not the main character, but he's always there to give you advice. And it's like all these kind of anime trope characters, but they're presented in this hardcore realistic uh format. And so it just creates this kind of weird, it feels weird to play because it feels like it's kind of always at conflict. And like I said, it doesn't help that these character models, for as good as they look in combat and for as good as they look in the character portraits, they can't emote at all. And so as you have these characters having interesting conversations about the nature of war, has like these characters watch their comrades commit war crimes and then question, oh man, we're just a little mercenary group that kind of got caught up in a revolution and now we're committing war crimes. What are we doing, man? Are we doing the right thing? Like there's a lot of interesting story going on, but the characters are just so dead-faced as they're
Yeah.
talking about this that it really undercuts all the drama. And so I find that whenever a cutscene starts, it kind of helps to look away and just let the voice acting sell the emotion because the voice acting is actually pretty good. So it helps that I keep thinking that the turn-based strategy is really good.
Hmm.
They keep introducing new systems.
Really? Even because you've been playing it for a while and they're still introducing new systems?
Yeah. They just introduced like if I can have 10 characters out at a time, but I can recruit like a whole bunch of characters. And so I can put one character as like an aide. And that means they offer the character they're an aide to bonuses and they get some experience and weapon experience from that. There's
Hmm.
like a class system that's kind of interesting because the way it works is you can train characters with something that they are not equipped with.
Hmm.
Um, so even if I equip someone with a sword and an axe, I can then set them up with a training regiment of light magic. And so after every battle, they'll earn a little bit of points in light magic because they're training. And that becomes important later on because some of the higher level classes that unlock require you to have like, oh, you need a max out sword, but you need a 3 in elemental magic. Well, the guy with a sword can't use magic. So if you want to do that naturally, you have to like completely change your class of character and you kind of have to start them from the ground up. Or
Hmm.
you can put them in this training regimen and over time they'll just naturally get to that level 3. So it's kind of interesting how it wants you to use the training regimen to kind of prepare for the class the people will be ahead of time. It's like asking you to look at each character, look at the top level classes, and kind of decide in advance what you want each character's top class to be so that you can kind of start working on that from the beginning. And it's an interesting system. It's all interesting systems. The battles are consistently uh, right on that good level of challenge where they're not easy, but they're also not hard. They're just challenging enough that they kind of keep me engaged.
Hmm.
And yeah, it it's a very interesting game. It's fun. It's not one of those top classes, but I definitely would rank it above the Dealfield Chronicle.
Okay.
That was another game that was like, oh, your ambition outstrips your capabilities.
Right.
Um, but this one, I think it's in that same situation, but the gap is a lot thinner.
Hmm. Yeah.
I would say absolutely if like you're someone that likes turn-based games, this is a real diamond in the rough.
Okay. I might pick that up. So anything else?
Nothing else, but I am very excited for next week because Black Myth Wukong comes out, and I'm kind of the more I see about
I've
that,
heard good things.
it's like, ooh, this looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it does.
But I've also heard that it's a bit of a buggy mess, and
Yeah,
so
that's half the fun.
I don't know how it will be on console.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
All right. So, do we want to hit the news?
yeah.
All right, then. Stand by. Wait for it. Let's hit the news. This is the GameHounds news and reviews and commentary that we can gaming.
Oh, me. Okay.
Or me. I don't care which one. We could both do it. I don't know.
Well, let's start with the best news of the week, which
Okay.
is that Tango Gameworks has been saved from studio closure by Crafton. So has some backstory. Tango Gameworks made Hi-Fi Rush. They made The Evil Within.
You didn't.
They were
Did you? Oh, there we go. Yeah, there it is. Sorry. Yes. So yes, Evil Within.
Evil Within, Tokyo. So what was it? Ghostwire Tokyo.
That's Water Tokyo, right?
And then they were famously shut down by Microsoft because they
Right.
were owned by Microsoft. They put out a game that Microsoft touted as like one of the best games of last year. And then their reward was, we're going to shut you down.
Was it Hi-Fi Rush? Was the one that they did?
Yes.
Yeah, and that was really, really well received, and their reward was getting shut down by Microsoft.
Yes. Well, Crafton, which is like kind of a publisher that you don't usually hear much about, but
Mhm.
they own PUBG. So that's kind of where their moneymaker is.
Right.
Last year, they were the ones that published the Callisto Protocol,
Mm-hmm.
the game from the Dead Space guy that was kind of a flop. But they have basically bought all of Tango and the Hi-Fi Rush IP.
Oh, that's
Uh,
good.
I don't believe that counts for the original game. I think the original game is still owned by Microsoft, but any
Probably.
sequels going forward will be owned by Crafton.
Right, and that makes that's actually really good because this will give them not only a new lease on life, but also give them a really, really good reason to make the next game really, really, really good. They have to nail the next game
Look what you're missing.
because, yeah, look what you're missing, but also that they're not going to be reaping any of the rewards of the benefits that came from the first Hi-Fi Rush because that's all just going to Microsoft.
And from what I can gather from the
No
deal,
pressure.
I think that it's a weird situation where I think the shutdown was far enough along that like there was some legal issue. They couldn't just like take the publisher. So
Right.
what they ended up doing is making a deal to hire all the developers from the publisher to basically so that on paper the studio gets shut down and then completely reformed at Crafton. It's not just the company transfer. It's
Right.
like, no, we were already in the process of shutting it down. We have to continue that process. We can't stop it. So it's all shut down, but then it comes back up.
Right.
But yeah, apparently Crafton was able to get a situation where pretty much if you're an employee at Tango Gameworks, things just kind of continue as is. Like all the same leadership structures there. It's really just continue doing what you're doing. Well, continue doing what you are now able to do.
Right.
So it's good. It's nice to see, a developer that's made some good games and was kind of unceremoniously shut down. Get a life preserver.
Second lease on life. Well, I mean, ultimately, the nature of this industry is it is so highly competitive that if they have a good game and they can keep the IP, chances are they're going to be pulled out of retirement by somebody, just simply because people won't leave money on the table like that. Can't afford to leave money on the table.
Yeah.
The only way that you could keep them from doing that is to keep the IP and not shut down the company. But, if they're not making games, then chances are the company's going to be leaving, everybody's going to be leaving the company anyway, and they can all go and form their own studio.
Yeah. And it's
That
nice
makes
that
something suspiciously like it.
and I don't know, I know the Hi-Fi Rush IP went to Crafton. I don't know if Tango's other IP did. So I don't know about Ghostwire. I don't know about Evil Within. But I will say I'm glad that at least Hi-Fi Rush got to go over because I feel like there are now so many IPs under the umbrella of Xbox that are just sitting there with nothing happening.
Yep.
Fallout, anything. No, and so I'm glad to see something like escape that black hole of IP.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. All right. So my next item is the big news Dragon Age. Well, first off, the date for Dragon Age is officially now known. Official. It is October 31st. That means that I will not be answering the door on Halloween. I'm going to be deep into it. That being said, somebody like 7 hours before the official release trailer came out, uh, some very very savvy, you can't, nothing gets past the internet, but Wario 64, who is also known on the internet for being very very good at finding things, found a trailer that kind of dropped earlier than it should have, about 7 hours, that at that point had confirmed that it was officially coming out. So yeah, October 31st is the date. This was came out because of a special release trailer that was dropped. So yeah, super duper psyched about it. I'm hearing more good things than I am bad things, although we are still early days
The
in.
release trailer looked a lot better than the last trailer.
Yeah, that horrible trailer from before. I don't know if they did that on purpose so that we had such low expectations. It's
No,
entirely
no, I
possible.
don't think. No, don't. Not that conspiracy theory. EA
Oh,
doesn't
I
want you
don't.
shitting on their games.
I am good with my tinfoil hats, but related to that, I have either made done something that will make me very happy, or have doomed Dragon Age. I probably have doomed it, given my past history. Dragon Age did announce all of the collector's editions that are coming out. So let's see. Veilguard is supposed to, was Dragon Age Veilguard, October 31st. They had a blog post that detailed the different packages you can get. So the regular standard game is going to be $59.99. Sorry,
Really?
$69.99 on PlayStation and
Oh,
Xbox Series X,
okay.
and
I was gonna say for
$59.99
a
on PC.
moment there.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, EA not charging $70 for a game? Wow,
yeah,
that's really
it's
generous of
70 bucks or 60 bucks. 60 bucks on PC. Now, if you pre-order those, um, then you'll get a cosmetic Blood Dragon armor set. Now, there is a deluxe edition that is going to be 80 bucks, or 90 bucks on console, 80 bucks on PC. You get 3 Rook armor sets, 6 Rook weapons, and 7 companion armor sets, and 7 companion weapons. All essentially digital shit. But, and here's the big but, there is the Rook's Coffer edition, which comes with a bunch of stuff, but not the game. So it comes with a map of Thetis. Let me pull it up so that you can see it. Stand by. Let me actually get it out there. BioWare. So that you can actually see what I'm talking about. Stand by. Come on, BioWare Gear Store. Just load up. All right.
I really wish that companies would stop doing special editions of games that don't include the game.
Yeah, I agree. That kind of sucks. All right, so here is the Dragon Age Veilguard Rook's Coffer edition. So it is going to contain the following. It's got a map of Thetis, a deck of cards, a print of some companions, a potion flask model, dice that the post said are enchanted, and most importantly, it's got a light up. Oh man, I hope I can actually. Can you get it so it will show a dagger that lights up? So this right here is a light up dagger, as you can see right here. So that right there, the price on that is $149, I believe it is. Where is it here? $149.99 US dollars.
So, including the game, 220.
Yeah, 220. So so yeah, that's a thing that's absolutely happened. And I kind of I think I've doomed Dragon Age simply because I have not only I mean I've double doomed it. I mean truly, truly, truly doomed this game. Because I didn't just order one.
What do you
I
mean?
ordered two.
Why?
Because I figure you know, if at the very least, you know, if even if the game sucks, at least I'll have some cool stuff, and maybe I'll be able to give one away on the show.
Okay, okay, so it's all just to give away. Okay.
Maybe, or if it's an awesome game to sell, I don't know. I didn't want to buy two because it's supposed to be one to a customer, but here's the thing: is that I ended up buying one and I put it on a credit card that I didn't want to put it on. Because I have a
Mm,
credit card that has a like a $1,200 credit on it because I got the refund on my Airbnb for PAX. Since we're not going to PAX this year, I got the refund back to my credit card. So I really should have put it on the other card. Also, I was not signed in on my BioWare store account. So I wasn't getting BioWare store credit for doing it. So I went
hmm.
back and I bought a second one that was actually on my account, which is great. And I put it on the card that already has credit coming to it, which is great. You know, so it's not actually money coming out of my pocket. That being said, I was thinking, well, maybe I'll just return it. And now I'm thinking, maybe I won't return it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I may end up returning it. Trying to be frugal these days. But that was something where I just had to kind of lean in because I mean, come on. Is that not freaking cool or what? Come on. That is so cool. Look at that thing. Oh, come on. Just
It's at least nice that it
look
has
at
some physical stuff,
yeah.
right? As
Look
opposed
at
to
that. Look at that thing
all
right
the
there.
random
Look how
stuff.
awesome that is.
You could
So
use it against the coyotes.
I could. I think the coyote would be intimidated by that. So, but yeah, it costs 149 or 150 bucks, and it does not include the game.
AC Ray says that you could have painted some cheap Naruto plastic kunai, but no, you had to doom the entire franchise.
I know, and and if you're not aware of what I did by doing it, every single time that I have purchased a collector's set, the game hasn't just been underwhelming; it has been awful, awful. What collect? I'd say Destiny, the original Destiny,
I remember Destiny and Starfield immediately off the top of
Starfield.
my head.
What else did I buy that was really horrible? Like was I bought the collector's edition and I regretted it instantly. I can't remember. There was a couple other ones that I've purchased. I purchased the like you know all the plastic tat. To be quite
Mhm.
honest, this was the way I rationalized it. Is that especially with Starfield, the best thing about Starfield was the plastic tat.
True. At least
That
you got
plastic
the
tat
really
edition
cool
was awesome.
watch. Yeah, the
Right.
watch is cool.
The watch,
The
the
box that
whole
it
watch,
comes in is cool. The whole thing.
absolutely,
Yeah.
it's so cool. Even the box that it
Yeah. Oh, okay. Something's happening. She's getting up and is muted. Hang on. Let me text her to see what is going on. Oh,
Okay, can you hear me now?
yeah. What happened?
Check, check, checkity check.
We
Well,
can
you
hear
should
you.
hear me now.
Yeah, we do.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but I can't hear you for some reason. Let me see why that might be. It is probably
If you don't know this about GameHounds by
because yeah,
now,
I
audio issues
my box fell
are a
off of the
tradition.
tiny table that I'm on and unplugged. So I may have to leave and come back. All right?
Okay.
So I'll be back. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. Sorry.
Okay. In the meantime, while she is talking about that, let's talk about the PSVR2 adapter. So PSVR2, it's a very cool headset. Notoriously was only usable with PlayStation 5s. Last week, Sony released a PC adapter that would allow you to use the PSVR2 headset on a computer. Apparently, getting the headset itself to work is actually pretty easy because you might not even need the adapter. Depending on what video card you have, you might be able to just plug it into a USB-C slot and have it work. It won't have all the features. It won't have the dynamic eye tracking, and it won't be able to change the resolution based on the eye tracking. It won't have rumble in the headset, but it will do the tracking. It will track your head, and it does that pretty well. The problem comes from the controllers. So the issue with the controllers is that the adapter that plugs the headset into the computer only plugs the headset into the computer. The controllers connect via Bluetooth, but there's a whole bunch of issues that come from trying to connect them via Bluetooth to get the games to recognize it, to get all of the functionality to be recognized. So the headset itself and the tracking works pretty well, but actually being able to use the controllers for a game is, at least according to a Verge article, like a real pain in the ass.
Oh, that's I'm
So
glad
it
that I know this now because I was very interested in
yeah,
getting that game, right?
and I did see that like the PSVR2 headsets were like slashed by $200 in
Mhm.
the build up to the adapter release.
Mhm.
And like the adapter apparently works well, it's just that the controllers don't.
Right. Well, I guess I'll just have to keep waiting then. I mean, we were so close to buying them. So close to buying one. I may still do that just for, Halloween so that you guys can watch me like,
I mean, it's
struggle.
cool, and then we can play multiplayer VR games together.
It would be kind of cool. I know, but I spent all my money on, that extra Dragon Age tat.
God damn it.
Somebody had to do that. Anyway, so but
Yeah.
that's the only problem with it is the controller connecting via Bluetooth.
Yeah, and it's not that it doesn't work, it's that it's just a little wonky. For
Hmm.
having an adapter that gets the headset to work pretty well and then having to fiddle with the controllers unexpectedly is, it kind of defeats the whole idea of, oh, this is an adapter, now you can play it on PC. It's like, well, no, you still got to fiddle with it. You got to tinker with the in-game settings for every games,
Hmm.
and it could be a lot of stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'll just have to keep waiting.
Yeah.
I might get one anyway. I don't know. Well, I mean,
I mean,
got a
look,
bonus coming soon.
depending on
Bonus time.
how cheap they are, like they're absolutely worth it. I still really like mine. I want to go back and play some VR games.
Mhm.
There's a lot of cool ones.
September is bonus season, so I may buy one with my bonus.
Okay.
All right. So my next item is let's see. So you have one on Super on Helldivers. I'll bring up my Helldivers one, and then you could talk about it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So apparently there was a recent order that was given by what's the name of the company that does
Arrowhead?
Helldivers? Yeah, Arrowhead. They had an executive order, whatever kind of order, war order, that was dropped a couple of days ago that players were supposed to, quote, secure terminated research samples to allow our scientists to investigate the gloom. So what players had to do is they had to round up tens of millions of samples across a bunch of planets, and essentially everybody had to work together to collect the samples to get them out. And it's a thing. But what ended up happening was it was completely fulfilled within hours, which is great. But unfortunately, it turns out that one of the reasons why it was completed so quickly was because people were cheating. There was a bug, somebody hacked it, and they were able to dupe stuff. So, let me pull this up so that you can actually see it. Let me copy the hyperlink. Let me put it over here so that you can see the hyperlink. Yes, cool. And then, of course, Arrowhead was able to determine that, yes, people had cheated. So they made a surprise release information announcement on Twitter that says this. So it said, major order update. Super Earth High Command has detected a large batch of counterfeit samples within the delivery of the last major order. As is customary, medals have been awarded to all those who honorably performed their duties, and the ones submitting false samples have had their pet fish summarily executed. So essentially, they killed all the pet fish of everybody who cheated. Laboratories across all Super Earth space are attempting to filter out the false samples, but the expected scientific advances to combat the spread of the gloom have decreased significantly. As a result of this, worlds near the gloom have begun resettlement protocols. So once again, Arrowhead is taking the whole artifice of the Helldivers world very, very seriously. They are fully cosplaying this shit, and it's like, okay, you all fucked it up. So we've murdered your fish, and now we're actually seeing the repercussions of your cheating affect the game.
That's cool.
Sorry. Did I not I didn't change that. There it is.
Oh,
No fish
yeah.
for you. Arrowhead teaches cheaters a very hard lesson. So
That's
if you
good.
are playing Helldivers 2, and you walk onto their ship and you see that they have a dead fish in their tank, you know that they are a cheater, dirty, dirty cheater.
Is there actually a fish tank on board?
I don't know.
Okay, I haven't seen that. I thought it was just like a joke, but that'd be cool.
I believe there is a fish tank on the board, and yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
So,
well, in more fun, but also a little less positive Helldivers news. So last time we did a podcast,
right,
I had mentioned that there was an upcoming war bond all about fire.
right,
You brought that up, and I made the comment, oh boy, I hope they don't nerf all the fire right before this war bond comes out. Well, they did. They did, and it upset a lot of people.
Oh, really?
So much so that a lot of players are actively sabotaging missions in order to allow the automatons to advance towards Super Earth. So that they're basically losing on purpose in order to have the enemy come closer and closer. And on social media, it's blown up into again, like what Helldivers usually does, a whole roleplay situation where you know how people calling themselves chaos divers, which are kind of the antithesis of the Helldivers. And some people want it to be like a new mode, which honestly would kind of be crazy awesome if there was a PvPvE mode where you dropped in and you had to complete objectives, but then another group of chaos divers dropped in and still had to contend with all the bugs or automatons, but were also out to kill you. That would be kind of awesome. But that's also the kind of thing that even if they started making it now, wouldn't be out for another year. So for now, it's just kind of a cool situation that players are they're upset and they're kind of voicing their feelings within the fiction of the game and like within the mechanics of the game, even in a way that actually prompted a response from Arrowhead to be like, okay, we their response like was like a full, not just we're going to reconsider the balance changes we made, but we're also going to create like a beta playtest area where we will invite players to come play new patches before we release them so that we can kind of get a better sense of player feedback towards these balance changes.
I'm just reading some of like the Reddit about it. This happened to me a week ago. I haven't played the game for a month. I jumped in the game, joined a mission. At the end of the mission, one of the guys shot me while I was sitting in the dropship. Haven't touched the game since. We must end the team killing, brothers. Helldivers are not your enemy. So,
Yeah,
I mean, there's a part of me that loves that, but also a part of me that kind of fucking hates that. That they
it's
would actually be team killing and player killing.
yeah, it's unfortunate, but I also do get the frustration because the fire was really really cool.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was able to defeat. It feels like a lot of the
Here's
issues
why
with
I
the
don't
balance
know why
changes
they nerfed fire, because fire, it wasn't like it was
because they
overpowered.
because they put out a patch that was all fire, not a patch, a war bond
Warbond.
that was
Right.
all fire based.
But here's the thing is that fire by definition kind of nerfs itself. It wasn't like it was a unfair advantage to anything, because inevitably what fire ends up doing is killing your own team. There comes with an inherent risk
Not
that
necessarily.
when you use fire, chances are you're probably going to burn and murder everybody on your team at the same time.
So to get into the nitty gritty, the specifics of like what changed, it's all about how fire interacts with armor, and specifically the armor on a charger's legs.
Right.
Chargers are the four-legged bugs that charge toward you, aptly named, and you can kind of dive out of the way, and then they'll stop, turn around, and charge at you again. They're kind of the first big enemy that you'll encounter as you go up the difficulty levels, but also as you go up the difficulty levels, they kind of start spawning chargers more and more often. So in addition to like, hey, here's the big giant enemies, it's also like, here's 5 chargers that you got to deal with, and they're a pain in the ass to deal with. That's why the flamethrower was kind of became the meta weapon against chargers, because if you aimed at one leg as they charged at you, you could take them down with like 60% of a flamethrower's like clip, and that's
Right.
it's really really effective. It's able to take down a charger quickly and efficiently, which then allows you to focus on the other chargers and the other objectives. The issue from Arrowhead's perspective is that the charger's legs have armor on them,
Mm-hmm.
which is why you need like armor penetrating guns to shoot them, or why you need like heavy weapons to penetrate it. Fire wasn't supposed to penetrate armor.
Right.
If you shoot a flamethrower at like an armored automaton, it's not going to have the same effect because it's going to be kind of weak because the fire doesn't penetrate their armor. But it was penetrating the armor on the charger's legs. That is specifically the little number that they changed. That, hey, fire is now going to act as it does for all the other enemies with the charger. So
Right.
from their perspective, they're balancing things to make it more consistent. But they've even stated in the past that when they make balance changes, they don't want to balance things for realism or consistency. They want to balance things for fun. And this, I think, is an example of them like really falling on that goal, because yes, it was a little imbalanced. Yes, it was inconsistent, but it was also really, really fun.
It
And
was.
really effective. And like that's
And
where
it
all the
carried a
good
lot
things
of
come
risk,
from.
like you said, carried a lot of risk with it. Is that all you needed is one guy with a flamethrower, and somebody's gonna die.
Yeah.
While if the charger, it's like, oh Jesus, it's all somebody's gonna light me on fire if I don't stay away from it.
So Yeah, it puts Arrowhead in a tough situation, but also like a situation you could kind of easily change by just unbalancing things a little and balancing things more towards fun.
Hmm.
So, at the very least, it shows that the Helldivers community is really, really into their role play. No.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's one of the things I love about the Helldivers community is because they are into their role playing. They don't. They're unabashedly so. Let me fix my hair here. No wonder my nose has been itching the whole time. I've had hair in my face the whole time. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love the Helldivers community is because they take that cosplay and that role playing so seriously.
AC Rift says, are these videos meant to be slideshows? He
Oh, I was
noted
like,
in an earlier vision as well that apparently the connection is really bad.
oh, okay. Well, then I will stop sharing because it's probably has something to do with my connection because I am on the boyfriend's Wi-Fi and he keeps thinking it's great and it's really not. I keep saying he needs to contact Comcast and he keeps telling me no, I don't. And I'm like,
No, it's fine. It's fine.
it's fine. It's fine.
Anyways, so yes, thank you for that. Yeah, your cams are fine. It's just the gameplay stuff is off, he says. Okay. That's my Helldivers news of the week.
Let's see. What other thing have I got going? Stand by. Oh, we're talking about how bad Borderlands movie is. Borderlands
yeah.
movie is so bad.
Uwe Ball is even talking shit.
It's crap talking about it. So here's where it started
done?
to kind of get interesting and get fun. So Borderlands box office receipts for the first weekend, last weekend, was $16.5 million. Now they had a production budget of around $115 million. So that's pretty bad. But it's better than most all of Uwe Boll's similar video game movies that were, not that were as well received as Borderlands movie, let's just say. So there were a number of people that were noticing, like somebody had said, God, I really wish Eli Roth had made it. I'd rather have Uwe Boll make it than this. And there were some people who were, begged to differ that Uwe Boll would have been a better choice than Eli Roth. Case in point, one of them, this guy, he had to point out, House of the Dead opened 5.5 million, final gross 13.8. Alone in the Dark opened 2.8 million, final gross 12 million. Blood Rain 1.5 million, final gross 3.6 million. Dungeon Siege 3.2 million opening, final gross 13 million. For fuck's sake, you're making me defend Eli Roth here, right?
Wait. We need to look at inflation. We need to get an inflation calculator
Sure,
here.
there's an inflation involved, but even so.
No, this could completely change it, right? House of the Dead was like 20 years ago.
Sure.
20 years, 5.5 million, that might equal Borderlands opening.
Sure, possible. But
okay, wait, what was Borderlands opening?
16.8.
16.8. Okay.
So you're defending well, wait, let me go on. Let me show you. You don't need to defend Uwe Boll. Uwe Boll has no problem defending Uwe Boll because after this post was made, he posted prompted by someone else thinking, I think Uwe Boll movies only made money because of the enormous tax loopholes that have since been closed. It's why he doesn't have a career anymore. He writes back.
I mean, that is
he
true,
is absolutely trash talking everybody. Somebody said, did you adjust for inflation? Adjust for what? The gross? There ain't much to adjust. You're right. We need to remember to adjust the money he flees from taxpayers by exploiting a loophole in Germany. Apparently his restaurant is good, though. Anyway.
Okay. When did House of the Dead come out?
There's a House of... Maybe I said there's a Dungeon Siege movie? There's a House of the Dead
There was
movie?
a Dungeon Siege movie. House of the Dead came out in 2003. Okay. So 2003, $5,500,000, right? 500. No, that's 500 million. I got too many zeros in here. I don't know. I cannot do math. That's 100,000. That's again, I got too many fucking zeros. I am an English major.
Okay.
No. 5.500.000. That's $5,500,000.
It had a budget of 12 million. Domestic opening was 5.5 million.
Okay.
Final gross was 13.8 million. So it made money.
So in 2003, 5.5 million would in 2024 be 9.4. So Borderlands did beat House of the Dead.
But it cost $100 million to make, as opposed to $12 million. $120 million to make, as opposed to $12 million unadjusted, which would probably be like 20 million, 21 million.
Yeah.
Let's see. He has also posted this one. This is Alone in the Dark. 2.8 million, a budget of $20 million. And with a final gross of 12 million. So that one did lose money. Blood Rain 1.5 cost 25 million to make, made 1.5 with a final gross of 3.6. So that was a huge loss. And then of course Dungeon Siege we don't have a cost on this one.
Yeah, we have a domestic opening, but not a final.
Yeah. Well, the domestic opening, final gross was 13 million, but we don't know what the budget was.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, you don't need to defend Uwe Boll. Uwe Boll has a pretty good job. It has no problem defending himself. Yes, that is him. Wrong.
Yeah,
come on.
His movies are bad, but Borderlands was just bad and expensive.
And yeah, exactly.
Uwe Boll makes bad movies because, like
that's his art form.
Said,
yeah,
they're basically government scams.
Mm-hmm.
They're scams for like government bonuses. So really, none of those movies actually bombed.
Yeah. House of the Dead in cinema, somebody else wrote. Sonic Sean 34. House of the Dead in cinema was something else, man. If I ever had to describe it to anyone, they wouldn't believe me. I vaguely recall game clips superimposed at random.
I remember that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a thing that absolutely happened, is that Uwe Boll clapped back. People just, if you're gonna come for Uwe, you better be ready. He's not gonna hold back.
I mean,
good for him.
It's not like he was defending his movies, right?
No,
because
he's defending himself.
He's defending the budgets,
right? He's being Uwe, dude. He is unapologetically Uwe. So anyway, that's my interesting story of the week. It's Uwe Boll resurfaces and tells everybody to go fuck yourself. Uwe needs to take over Star Wars. I would absolutely see an Uwe Boll Star Wars movie without hesitation. I would do that.
I mean, he can't do worse than The Acolyte.
That's true.
The Acolyte was not good.
So yeah, the Borderlands movie thread is well worth reading that, because nobody's taking that seriously except like the original poster, which is even funnier. All right, so your next item.
My next item is a bit of a arc. So
okay.
Valve is working on a new game called Deadlock, which has kind of been described. It's been leaked before. And people are like kind of weirded out by it, because it's a It's like a mix of Dota in that it has lanes. It's a mix of Team Fortress with the characters. It's like a Team Fortress with Dota with like something else. But it's like a whole bunch of mix of genres.
What's
This
the name of it?
information,
Do they have a name yet?
Deadlock. This information has been out there. Valve has like not officially announced this, but it's on Steam database. Like it has a peak of 23,000 players. There are people playing this. There are open invites. If you get an invite to play it, you can extend that invite to a friend of yours with like no restriction.
Oh, that's
So
kind of nice.
it's an open secret about this game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a writer at The Verge got an invite. Oh wait, do you want to send me the link to this so that I can do it? Because
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
it's a bit of a slideshow.
That's what I forgot. Okay, yes, I will send you that link. It is in private chat right now.
Private chat. I'll open that. Let me share that. Okay, you seen it?
Not yet. Oh, yeah, I see it down there. Let me add it. All right, there we go. Put
Okay,
it into full screen.
it is in full screen.
No,
Oh,
it's not.
I thought
Now it is. Now hit play.
it is playing. It's just
Okay.
there we go. No, mine's also like really bad.
Yeah, yours is.
I have good internet though.
That's really weird.
Streaming is tough. Okay, what if I lower the quality on this? Unfortunately, but the point is, look, there's video. There is video of Valve's new game on YouTube that's not being taken down. It's just by some random ass YouTuber that got to play it, recorded video. A member of The Verge, a writer at The Verge, got an invite to the game,
Mm-hmm.
and there is no NDA with the game. There's a little pop-up that says, "This game is in early development. Please don't talk about it."
Uh-huh.
And with like a little checkbox that says, "Yes, I accept." He didn't click accept. He just closed that window and then went to play the game. And he wrote like a big preview about it for The Verge. Well, because it's like kind of an unofficial preview, because like he didn't accept this informal NDA, Valve or The Verge kind of caught in a little bit of controversy, which a bunch of Valve fans going, "Why
Yeah,
are
this
you
is
talking
pretty
about this
typical.
game?"
Why would you make that decision? Why is it really worth it to piss off Valve? This is
Well,
where
because
I don't
A,
understand people breaking embargoes.
but that's it. There's no embargo. There's no embargo. There's no NDA. There's nothing
Valve
but a
asked,
little
please
thing.
don't talk about it. It said, please don't talk about it. Just because you were able to bypass clicking yes,
But
does
why?
it mean, I mean, sure, absolutely. You can do it and you won't get sued. But I can guarantee you Valve will retaliate. And
So
this is Valve.
then, but then, what are we watching?
Yeah, true.
Why, like, oh, how could this guy write a preview about this Valve game? He didn't accept the NDA.
You know what?
This is
Here's
offensive.
here's the
This is
thing is that
bad.
this guy,
There are YouTube videos
yeah,
showing full, complete gameplay.
true, but these are all people that don't have skin in the game. Verge
But again,
has skin in the game.
well, they might, except you know what? Maybe that would matter if Valve made more games. Maybe being blackballed by Valve would matter if they actually put out something that you could be blackballed
True.
from.
But you know what? Valve is petty enough that they would actually
But
put
they're
out
not. But Valve like isn't
a new
Bethesda.
Left 4 Dead and
Bethesda is
specifically leave Verge out of it.
Bethesda is a notoriously petty developer. Valve is not. In fact, if anything, this whole situation just shows how completely indifferent Valve is, because they're putting out a game. They've invited people to play the game. They have 23,000 concurrent players playing the game, but they asked you not to talk about the game. And if you do break that, he got banned. But you know what he got banned from? The writer had his account banned from Deadlock.
Hmm.
So apparently, Valve was so upset that they banned him from playing this game.
Right.
His Steam account is still
Nothing
active.
else.
His Steam account is still active. He can still get review codes through Steam. All of that stuff is still there. It's the lightest
True.
slap
Lightest
on the wrist
possible sentence
to
you could
be.
get. It's a slap on the wrist.
Oh no, I got banned from a multiplayer game that's not actually out yet.
Right.
So again, Valve doesn't care.
Yeah.
Valve doesn't care, but enough Valve fans cared that this created like a semi controversy of people going, "Oh, he should have still abided by the informal NDA. He shouldn't have written anything. What does this matter?" Like, if Valve actually wanted this to be a secret, then they would actually have some sort of formal NDA that says, "Hey, don't play this." They would have had some code that meant if you closed the window without accepting, you couldn't launch the game. So many things involved of like, what is this? And yeah, it kind of creates this Rorschach test of a situation where who do you side with, the writer or Valve? And really, you could side with any of them. There are good arguments on either side, and so uh, it's a dumb controversy because ultimately none of this matters because it's promotional material for an
Right.
upcoming game
Right.
that
It's the best thing that happened to this game. Was
yeah.
that kind of controversy.
And so, hey, if you didn't know, Valve is making a game, and maybe they'll have made one game in the past 20 years.
Hmm.
Well, okay, no, that's not fair. They put out Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah.
Which, 90% of the gaming population can't play, but they still put it out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a dumb situation, but it's also kind of entertaining that, like, just that cheesy, but what happens if I click no? I can keep going. Okay. It's like that seems like a very fair experiment for someone to do.
It's exactly the kind of experiment you would do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's a dumb controversy for what actually looks like might be a decent game.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad. It looks actually quite good.
Based on the preview from the writer at The Verge, we live in an age where, Concord comes out this week.
Hmm.
Marvel Rivals comes out relatively soon. But
Hmm.
both of those games feel like such deliberate Overwatch clones. And when you look at like the scope of live service games, it just feels like a lot of people chasing the same designs over and over and
Right.
over again.
Right. Oh yes,
This,
very much so. They've been
based
doing that
on
ever since World of Warcraft started making more money than God. All of a
Mhm.
sudden, it was everybody wanted to make an MMO.
And this, to Valve's credit, based on the description in the Verge article, it sounded like something different. It sounded like a live service multiplayer shooter game that was at least an interesting, different mix of things, which, like, that's kind of what this space needs. If one of these games is ever going to break out to a, degree that the existing live service games have, it needs to not be a clone.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
I'm actually excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, it looks kind of cool. I'd be willing to play it.
Yeah.
All right. Any other items you have?
Yes, I do have a couple others. Let me. Call of Duty, with the launch of Black Ops 6, Call of Duty is going to make Warzone and the latest Call of Duty game separate downloads, which means you can just download Warzone or you can just download Call of Duty.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
Because right now they're packaged together, which is why I think the last Call of Duty was like 300 gig.
Yeah, it's
It's
obscenely large.
huge. So this is like a way to. They're also releasing a patch that will optimize all the file systems to shrink those even more.
Hmm.
So by the time Black Ops 6 comes out, you will be able to download just that game without Warzone, and it will be better optimized so it won't be 150 gigabytes. Hopefully it
Nice.
will be a little bit lower than that,
Nice.
which is, it's nice, and it's also a long time coming.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the criticisms when these consoles first came out, there's a lot of criticism that, oh, 1 terabyte is not big enough. Like, oh, it's so small. Honestly, I haven't really encountered size issues that much, but that's also because I'm not playing Call of Duty. Call of
True.
Duty,
Yeah.
if I'm going to put on my conspiracy theory hat, I think for a long time, Activision actively was against shrinking the size of the games because they wanted to be the only game on your hard drive. They're like,
You really
no,
think that they might have done that?
we're not going to shrink it because we want you to put Call of Duty on your hard drive, and we don't want you to install anything else. It's Call of
That's
Duty
a good
or
point.
nothing.
And you'll never and once you have it installed, you will never take it off because it will take you so long to reinstall it again because
Yeah.
it's so large.
hmm
I can see
That's
it.
my conspiracy theory. And so now that Bobby Kotick's gone, Phil Spencer was like, yeah, we should probably shrink these sizes. This is not good. We want
Yeah.
people to download more Game Pass games, so let's shrink these
Yeah,
sizes.
yeah.
We now
Yeah,
have a
all of a sudden that
financial
size is not a good idea.
motivation for improving your hard drive size. So that's just kind of a nice quality of life change that is coming.
Mhm. Yeah. Sorry, I had to send a message to someone. All right, so next item.
My last
By the way,
item.
I am all of a sudden officially hit the wall.
Okay, well, I only
I
have
have
one
hit
item
the
left,
wall
so
of
that's good.
exhaustion. Like the waking up at 6:45 with like 10 minutes ago, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I need to sleep right now. We
Okay,
have officially hit the wall.
okay. Then I would do this last story.
Okay.
So, as I've gotten into emulation and putting all things on the Odin handheld,
Uh-huh.
one of the games I was excited to go back to was Legacy of Kain,
Mhm.
because Legacy of Kain's Soul Reaver was like a really interesting third-person action game. But it's never gotten ported.
Right.
Well, it is now. It's getting ported to not PlayStation or Xbox or
Okay.
Switch or PC. It's being ported to
PlayStation
this weird ass thing called the Evercade.
Evercade. I'd never even heard of what an Evercade is.
Neither did I, which is why I had to go to this. The Evercade is a kind of retro console that basically takes retro games and puts them on cartridges. And you
Okay.
take those cartridges and you plug them into the Evercade. So it's, you know, it is a modern retro console. And the new versions of Legacy of Kain and Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver are coming out on the Evercade. So they will come out on a little cartridge that you could plug into your Evercade console to play. But
Mhm.
that's it. It's not coming to anything else,
Interesting.
which is like begs the question, why? Why Evercade?
So is it the Evercade? I'm assuming it's this one, the VSR?
I mean, I think all of them except the same cartridges.
Interesting. Yeah, it looks like all play the same cartridge. This is kind of cool.
Excuse me. It's cool, but also, hey, I remember it's a pain to have a whole bunch of cartridges lying around.
Yeah, I agree. But still, it's kind of cool.
I
What are the cartridges that they have?
Can we get a picture of the
Let's see. We
cartridges?
got uh, there's the Legacy of Kain collection, Bitmap Brothers collection, Thalamus collection, Tomb Raider collection, Pico Interactive, C64 collection. Oh my god.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna switch to my screen for a second.
Okay.
Here, these are what some of the cartridges look like.
Yeah.
So they kind of look like Game Boy like Game Boy Advance cartridges,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're kind of small and rectangular.
Yeah. I'm looking at some of these. God, some of them are cool. Like I'm looking at some of these other the Team 17 collection.
It's a neat way to play classic games.
Yeah. It is kind of neat. And the fact that it's a four-person couch co-op, which is the way
Mhm.
it should be. Oh, they have an Intellivision collection. Look at this. What has it got?
Yeah, how many games are on there? 12? Okay, 12 is a solid number.
Star Strike, Auto Racing. Oh my god, I remember Auto Racing. Stadium Mud Buggies, Motocross. And Reverse Eye. Oh, I loved Reverse Eye.
I don't know this. Yeah, this is all before my time.
Oh yeah, it's way before your time. Oh, that's the second one. Here's the first one.
Oh yeah. Oh, nice.
Astro Smash, Buzz Bombers, Frogbog, Night
Okay, wait.
Stalker.
Also, how much are these?
Shark. I haven't thought of that in years. All right. So, how much are they?
Oh, I pay $25.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Okay, that's not too bad, but that's also like just for an emulated version of the game. That's not like an HD remake. So there's kind of a lot for just an emulator.
Yeah, $25 for like the Tomb Raider collection.
I mean, you could get the HD remade Tomb Raider collection for the same amount, I think.
Yeah, but that's the HD version. You don't want the HD version. That's kind of cool. I would be absolutely okay with all of that. Anyway, all right. Oh, you're not seeing it. Sorry. Stand by. Let me
Yeah,
go.
Tomb Raider 123 remastered is $30.
Yeah, sorry. It opened a new window, so I didn't realize that. So yeah. Yeah, the Pico 4 collection, $23.
Yeah, that'll
Sunset
send you
collection.
down a whole rabbit hole of like
Oh yeah.
handhelds.
Oh yeah. Absolute rabbit hole.
With, like
I'm
dedicated emulator consoles.
yeah. Yeah, I'm oh god, the Sunsoft collection. What's that got in it?
This is evoking all the nostalgia.
Oh, it absolutely invoking all of the nostalgia. Let's see.
Blade Master, Blaster Master.
Let's see. We already took the Intellivision one.
Yeah, you were looking at Sunsoft.
Yeah. Interplay.
It doesn't help that they're not in alphabetical order.
Yeah, it does not.
It's just, hey, here's a huge unorganized list.
Atari collection. Adventure, Alien Brigade, Asteroids, Canyon Bomber, Centipede, Crystal Castles, Desert Falcon, Double Dunk, Food Fight. Oh my god, I haven't thought about Food Fight in years. Missile Command, Motorcycle, I loved Night Driver. God, that was such a good game. Sword Quest Earthworld. Come on, this is pretty cool.
I'm
This
not
is
arguing that it's not
really cool.
I'm just saying it's a weird way to resurrect an old IP.
Basket Brawl. Oh, it is. I'm very tempted. Very tempted.
Okay, is this gonna have to be a Christmas gift?
No,
Is
no,
the retro handheld gaming
no,
console?
no. I don't want the retro handheld. I want the retro console.
Oh, you want the actual console?
Oh yeah, I want the absolutely. I want to play it with someone. You know who. Remember, he worked on a lot of these.
Huh.
How cool would that be?
Okay. The console
Especially the Atari collection.
itself is only 150.
Yeah, I know. It's totally doable. I have a
Oh,
feeling that might be
jeez.
my Christmas present to him.
And then you have an endless. There's a whole bunch of Duke Nukem's.
Although honestly, that's kind of like ordering a bowling ball with Homer written on it because it's really about me. Anyway, so that's kind of cool, and thank you for turning me on to that. And Evercade seems like it's the absolute best place to put the Legacy of Kain. That's a really,
No.
you know what? I will bet you,
It needs
I will
the
bet you,
HD update.
Legacy. I will bet you, Evercades paid for them to port it to Legacy, or to Legacy of Kain to them.
Maybe. I mean, I'll bet it was relatively easy just because the
Yeah.
Evercade's an emulation device and those games are available on emulation.
Exactly, exactly. And I will bet you that they paid the Legacy of Kain guys to allow them to put it on
Oh,
their
they
stuff
had to have.
easily.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this was a great decision because I've never even heard of this prior to this story.
Oh, it's a
And
classic.
now I'm like,
It's a
I want
classic
it.
game.
I absolutely want this. Yeah, they've got a lot of cartridges. They have 50 cartridges.
They have a crap ton. But that's also,
Oh,
I
and
will
look at
say,
this.
that's,
Even better, look at this. This is what's cool. Check this out.
wait, you need to
It
add it.
actually has a list of games that you can look up and you can sort to figure and find out what collection it's in. So you can find your favorite game. That's kind of cool.
This is neat, but I will also say, this is why I like the Odin handheld, because I could just stick all of those games on an SD card and have all of them in one place. Instead of spread across 50 cartridges, I can have all of them in one location. And
Yeah,
that's
that's also,
nice.
a handheld. I like the idea of it all being, like on a console, that if I want to play retro, I just plug that console in and it goes. What do you want to play? There's an element of the nostalgia of having cartridges and feeling like you're playing a console with your friends.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. This is something that if you did it with Goalie, it would make his day.
Mm.
That more so than just playing it on any other console, just on an emulator that feels like an emulator. Anyway, so any other stories you have before
That is all I had. But I
Mhm.
didn't look at the news on what's it called?
Discord?
The Discord. Yes, that's it.
Yeah. So anything there that stands out that is worth me being awake for 10 more minutes? Because the minute we
Um
turn off this show, I am
the Plucky
crawling
Squire.
back to bed.
The Plucky Squire has a release date for September, I believe.
I saw that. The Plucky Squire looks really cool.
Yeah, it really does. I guess I could say briefly the previews of Black Myth Wukong
Mhm.
were all like pretty positive about the combat, but
Mm.
also like, oh, the game is a bit of a buggy mess. And all the bugs start after chapter 2, which none of the preview or review embargoes were allowed to show in video. So it's
Mhm.
like, oh, the moment you start encountering a whole bunch of bugs, that's what we're prevented from showing you. So that's a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
unfortunate. Um, I hope that game is cool. That game looks
Mhm.
really awesome and weird in the way that I love. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to next week. Play more Lost Eidolons. I bought a bunch of like other kind of weird small games that
Mhm.
I would like to play some more of. There's like a cool puzzle game called No One Wants to Die that I bought that I would like to talk about more next week. So hopefully I get to play some by then.
I'm looking up all of the games he's worked on to see if there's some he's done.
Have you found any
No.
successful ones? Oh,
No. Yep. Then now we're all the way up to 2007. So, let me go. Actually, I didn't look at the full credits. Okay, we got stuff. Okay. Anyway, anything
hell.
else?
AC Wraith put in the chat some weird ass, like, no, no feminist propaganda, no COVID-19 discussion email from Black Myth. What is it? A reported document regarding coverage for upcoming Black Myth WooCons are floating around the internet, making strange demands. It seems too absurd to be true, but I've now been able to confirm that it's legitimate. A Google document attached to the email said the following about coverage. Do's, enjoy the game. Don'ts, do not insult other influencers or players. Do not use any offensive language humor. Do not include politics, violence, nudity, feminist propaganda, fetishization, or other content that instigates negative discourse. Do not use trigger words such as quarantine or isolation or COVID-19. Do not discuss content related to China's game industry, policies, opinions, news, etc. This email was not sent to journalists, as some of them have said it's fake based on that, but it was for creators only.
Who sent this to whom?
There's no NDA required to accept the codes. I confirmed this by talking to the creator I trust and seeing an actual screenshot of the email and back and forth. I guess this is for streamers. Streamers are being sent this email in order to get an advanced copy of the game for coverage.
Which
But it's
game?
not Black Myth WooCon. Which I could get some because it is coming from a Chinese developer, and there's a lot of issues people have with China.
Feminist propaganda?
I mean, if you're talking about China, there's definitely some.
Sorry that the
issues you can take
idea
with
of like,
that.
women actually being somewhat equal to men on a certain par, or at least deserving of the same respect, would be considered propaganda. But okay.
It's an influencer agreement.
Yeah, well, that's why we don't have a. The
The
sender is
sender-
Ying Sheng address, where that points to Hero Games, a marketing partner with Game Science for Wukong. Oh, okay. So it's a
So I
marketing.
could totally understand this coming from a marketer in China going to outside people, basically saying, look, don't talk about all the shit going on in China.
Yeah. But don't mention the war.
Don't mention the war. Don't mention the crimes. Don't mention the politics. Don't mention COVID. Especially don't mention COVID.
God's sake, don't mention COVID. God, I am looking at some of these games. It's like,
Are you still looking at the Evercade?
I am. I still am.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, it's so bad. But this is so awesome. We need to get that for Gully for his birthday. It'd make him easy to buy for Christmas and his birthday for forever.
And just new
New
cartridges.
cartridges. See, that's how you do Christmas and birthday presents right. Is you get a Christmas or birthday present that sets them up for the future, that you never have to worry about what else to get them. Anyway. So, anything else?
That's it.
The wall Edie has hit was a pile of incoming purchases. No, I'm being good. I'm trying to live within my means because, I found out how much it's going to cost me to fix my house. Did I tell you that?
What's wrong with the house?
Well, the back stairs need to be replaced, and I need to have the bathroom redone. The back stairs are going to cost $50,000.
Really?
Yeah. Because I can't
That's
just
a lot
fix the
for
stairs. I have to replace
stairs.
the stairs. And I remember when my dad did that last time, he's like, don't ever let this part of the stairs go rotten, because if you do, then you will have to get permits. And if you have to get permits, then you have to get engineering and architectural drawings, and it will cost you a ton of money. And of course, that part is now, the thing my father replaced it with was not pressure treated. So of course it rotted. in 20 years. It shouldn't have. It
That
did.
sucks.
He didn't seal it. It wasn't pressure treated, so of course it fell apart.
Hey, see, it also mentions the redacted.
Yes. Yes, the redacted may interact with gravity. That is a whole other thing that is, a thing I need to consider.
Look, people
But
people
the
don't naturally
stairs,
notice the redacted, but they notice the stairs. So the
yeah,
stairs
oh
get
no, the
priority.
yeah, no, the stairs. I mean, here's my plan. My plan is that
The
I
goal is
will
to
be
never fix the
moving near
redacted.
Nick. But in order for me to afford to move, not afford, well, I mean, actually, I'll end up making money in the prospect. Is that I will be renting out my house, and then I will move and become a renter over where Nick is. So that way, Nick and I can hang out. We can do stuff together. It'll be a lot easier for me in my life.
Like co-op Evercade.
Like co-op Evercades, right? So in order for me to do that, though, I have to replace my stairs because you can't have rotted stairs in the back of a rental. And I have to replace my bathroom because you can't have a bathroom that's all fucked up like my bathroom is. So,
Okay. How fucked up is your bathroom?
okay, so here's how fucked up my bathroom is. Before you were even on the podcast, I went to TGS. I don't know if anybody remembers that. I went to Tokyo Game Show years and years and years ago. This was probably oh God, I don't even know. Like 2008, 2009, 2010. And we left. And when we came back from Tokyo, we noticed that in the bathroom, the wall was starting to bend in the shower. And I thought, oh God, we have a leak behind the wall. And then we realized the only thing that we could do was to cut a hole in the wall of the shower to see if there was a leak. And I remember right before I put the rotor hammer to the wall, I looked at Kevin and I said, promise me that in 6 months this wall isn't going to have a hole in it. And he said, I promise you in 6 months this wall is not going to have a hole in it. I believe that was 2009. Since then, my shower has been essentially taped up with shower curtains because it has a hole in it. So I have to redo my bathroom.
Okay. You know what? As a renter, I would not like to rent a place where my shower had a giant hole in it.
Exactly.
So that makes sense.
Exactly. And I know that it's like, I'm not going to let any water get in that hole. I'm going to check it on the regular and make sure that everything is in good shape because it's my wall. Renters could care less if
Oh,
that
yeah.
hole inside of that house rots. Could care less. So you got to make sure everything is bulletproof. So I need to do that, and I also need to redo the floors because that will increase the price. And I need to fix the stairs because that is a code requirement. You have to have 2 ways out of a house. Both
Okay.
have to be safe. So yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the hole is in the shower because you can't just hang something over it when it's in the shower.
No.
Whereas in the living room, you could just put up a painting.
Yeah, put up a painting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a thing. So that's
Okay.
why why I'm being very frugal is that I am saving as much money as
Frugal,
frugal.
but
I'm
with
not.
exceptions for Dragon Age.
Well, I mean, it's money that's already on the card. I use money that I can't get back from the card. It's just going to sit on the card. So
So you may as well spend it on more Dragon Age.
may as well spend it, So, yeah, I'm not like going up for like just the instant like I want a Wrexham. The fact that I have not ordered a Wrexham jersey right now says something.
Okay.
So
Well,
I'm holding.
hopefully Dragon Age is a hit so that you can flip the special edition for a profit and then
That's
use
nice.
that profit to get a Wrexham jersey and an Evercade.
Yeah, that would be nice. Chances are slim, but this would be nice.
Look, I still have my doubts about that game, but I will say the latest trailer was better.
Good, and I have to see it, which I will see as soon as I wake up because I need to sleep now. All right, can we
Okay.
close this show, please?
I don't know. Let's see. What else is Paul Tassi talking about? Da, da, da.
Nick. There's nothing there we can't talk about next week. Really.
Nope. This is immediate breaking news. Hang on, let me find it.
I'm really
Important news.
really tired, Nick. I'm really sleepy. I really need sleep.
Apparently, the lead actress in Alien Romulus looks a lot like Ellie from Last of Us.
Really?
This changes everything.
It changes nothing. All right. So, on that note, let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds, episode 725. We did record this on Sunday. What day? What is it? Sunday, August 18th, 2024. I've been Petey Sellers. This has been Nicola. Ways to get a hold of us: GameHounds.net is our website. GameHounds@gmail.com is our email. We record the show every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern here on Twitter. Well, no, not on Twitter because I don't have a premium. On Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. On Facebook, we are GameHounds. On YouTube, we are GameHounds Vids, VIDS, is in videos. And on Twitch, we are the GameHounds. Please feel free to join us next week. If you're watching this after the fact, we would love to have you. But thank you to everybody who is in the chat room and who has been in the chat room. And of course, thank you so much to AC Wraith, who is our link bitch, who has provided all the links for everything that we've talked about during the show. If you want to find a link for anything that we talked about, all you have to do is go to the comment section of wherever you're watching it. It's going to be there. And that is thanks to AC Wraith. So you are the bomb. Also, I remember there was a couple of different people. There was let's see, who was it? Random Rick Reviews. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you again. And also there was Bitters and a couple of other people. If I missed your name, sorry about that. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again next week. We do this show also as a podcast. Yes, I know I'm behind, AC Wraith. You have to remind me. It's going to get fixed. I will put everything up on iTunes, but iTunes is up there. If you listen to the show on iTunes, please do me a favor. Say like it, and then comment, because it makes all the difference in the world when we have comments on the shows. So please go do that if you're listening to it. There's also a number of different areas and places where we syndicate to. If there is a place that you want to get this as a podcast and it's not there, let me know. I will get it there for you. We are 100% Patreon funded. Yes, our patrons are the reason we are here. Were it not for you, we would be reaching very deep into our pockets to pay for all of the different software and subscriptions that are necessary to come to you here and also on your ears elsewhere. So thank you so much to all of our patrons. If you would like to become a patron, $1 a month is all we ask. Patreon.com/GameHounds. And finally, don't forget, we do have a Discord channel. Please go to our Discord. That's where we all talk every week. We hope to see you there, and we will also probably talk to you about anything that's going on later on this week on the Discord. Have a great week, everyone. We will talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, and I'm getting rid of that banner that has been sitting there that shouldn't have been sitting there the whole time. All right. I'm tired. I'm really
Okay.
pinchy.
Take some
I'm
sleep.
starting to like hallucinate a bit, so I need to go to sleep.
Okay. Go sleep.
Anything else you need from me before I forget who you are?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Wait,
Hey, we were
was
talking
something-
about with Blood
Remember.
Reaper. We're talking about possibly watching Tremors this week.
Okay, I could do something this week.
Okay, I can't do when it's either Wednesday or Thursday. I'll have to get back to you. I have a board meeting.
Okay, Wednesday would probably be best. Tuesday or Thursday, I'm
I
seeing.
can't
other
remember
movies.
what's the 21st. What day is the 21st? That's Wednesday. Yeah, no, I'm busy Wednesday.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I have a board meeting. So maybe it'd be the 22nd or the
How about next Sunday after the podcasts?
next Sunday? Sure, on the 25th.
Yeah,
Absolutely. That'd be
Okay.
good. We could do that.
Good. It's a week to prepare. We're both doing stuff throughout the middle of the week.
That'd be good.
Okay.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Until then, I hope you get
Talk
some
to you
sleep.
later. Good night. And the lights went out all over the world. Bye, everyone.